Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Good friends and trends that bend the senses. Let's get a bit senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with Super Fast Tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow. Good vibes from head to toe. Let the happiness take you in.
Good morning, everybody. Hey.
Good morning, YouTube.
Good morning. Yeah, you guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. We got Hillbilly and kjcowboydan here, and a fun topic, but we're open to questions. It's Wednesday Q&A day, but we want to talk about Spider-Man and why Spider-Man is annoying, right? I don't like Spider-Man. Tom Holland, get out of here. You know, no Spider-Mans. We don't like Marvel. You know, comic books suck, all that stuff.
That's right. There will only have ever been one Spider-Man.
Right? And that was Toby.
Yep. That would be correct. That would be correct. You know?
That's right.
I mean, and there's only one Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and that's Spider-Man 3 dark suit. When he's kind of a douche and he's doing a little dance in down New York, you know, walking down the street, doing his little dance in his little black outfit, a little suit that he's wearing. I love that scene. Everybody makes fun of that as like the most cringe Tobey Maguire moment ever, but I think it's the best.
Probably the most memed Spider-Man moment of the franchise.
Yeah.
When I went to New York City, I went to that exact spot where they filmed that scene. And now I'm not going to dox myself by sending the video. I might send it to you, Tortoise and Hillbilly, later. But there's a picture of me doing that little Tobey Maguire dance in that same spot.
Wow.
Nice. Well, let's say hello to people in chat. We got Lone Wolf. Hey, what's going on?
Lone Wolf has entered the pound. He's freeing all the dogs.
That's right. That's right. Oh, man. Lone Wolf, welcome. Fun games last night.
Yeah, it was.
We got Kovacs. Hey, shout out to you. Kovacs is a member of the channel. Thank you for supporting us even further. You rock, you roll. Yeah. Then we got TCG dude. What's up? Tortuga Super Rapida. That's right.
I know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy. You know, that's what you say when you see him in public. Like, I know that guy, even though you never met him in person in your life.
Well, you know, I do that every time I see one of the YouTubers I hang out with. I say, I know that guy. And they're like, quick, it's Cowboy Dan. That head in the jar can't get across the street that quick. Let's go.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. The ball, no Spider-Man Arena. That's right.
Yeah.
Cabby G. Was this your life before you was put into a jar? Probably.
It absolutely was. Before I was put into a jar, there was quite a bit going on. Although I'll tell you what, life is more fulfilling now that you don't have hands. Other people can do your work for you.
It's like a lazy life went lazier. Right. You go from not wanting to do anything to you can't do anything, so you enjoy it even more.
By the way, I just wanted to say happy birthday.
Ooh.
Today is William Shakespeare Day. The day that William Shakespeare was born, died, and got baptized.
Oh, wow.
Happy William Shakespeare Day.
William Shakespeare.
Actually, it didn't all happen today. It was like within about a 5-day time period. Not saying that William Shakespeare died at 5 days old, but like the time from his birth date, his baptism, and his day he died were like within 5 days apart during the year. But today is William Shakespeare Day. Happy Shakespeare Day.
Shakespeare Day. What's up? Was today to be or not to be? At Tuber Day.
What light through yonder monitor breaks?
Right. Fun times. William Shakespeare, classical playwright. I remember when he was over talking about people like Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, you know, and I can't remember the play I was a part of. Well, I wasn't really a part of a play. We did a read of the play in class, and it was fun. It was where Caesar was betrayed.
You know, the political plays that he did are pretty much some of my more favorite. Although not to touch on something that I'm going to be touching on a little later tonight with Jesse. But yeah, with Jesse, Hellwheeler. We're going to be making Jesse tonight read Shakespeare.
Oh my Lord.
But we're gonna do it. We're gonna take it one step further. You know how we play with the AI and make AI write little stories. We're gonna have the AI write a Shakespearean story and make Jesse read it. I'm gonna hate it because I also have to read it too. And I think we did like Shakespeare for like 2 weeks in middle school,
right?
And I hated the these, thous, ye's, and whatnots.
The proper English kind of text, the tongue twister text.
Yeah,
I get it.
Because of Shakespeare Day, I feel like we as Americans can get our revenge on the mother country by making a Britain use proper English.
Even Americans struggle with proper English.
Struggle with proper English. I just refuse to use it. I only speak 2 languages: bad English and worser English.
Right. Kev says, but being a head in a jar means they can just move you into a closet and leave you there.
Hey, don't give Becky any ideas. It's bad enough I'm on this shelf all the time and it doesn't get dusted.
All right. So, what is it? So, Spider-Man is coming to Magic the Gathering, right? Spider-Man's coming to Magic the Gathering September 26th on paper form.
Yeah.
Right? And on Arena, they're doing this thing called, what was it called, Hillbilly?
Omen Path,
where they're doing what they did with Stranger Things, and what they did with a couple others, where they're gonna make in-universe versions of the cards. They're the same card, different name, same card. You can't use them both in a commander deck, and they're gonna put it on Arena. And I don't know how much of the set they're gonna put on Arena, but apparently something about Marvel won't let them have it on Arena.
Marvel will never be on Arena, according to what I read.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's the contract. The digital contract, just like Marvel had made contracts with movie theaters, Marvel has made contracts with digital content producers. And so you probably won't see Marvel stuff on digital content that is not already being used because of these contracts. Spider-Man, just like other characters, cannot be found on certain games,
Right.
particularly games that are not Sony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Wizard of the Coast has not yet given a reason to why Spider-Man will not be in Arena or Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So we only can assume it's contractual, or maybe Marvel doesn't want another digital Marvel game to compete with itself because they got that one Marvel game that's blown up.
Yep.
You know, so
I mean, it does make me kind of mad because I was looking forward to being able to do the early access and play with the Spider-Man cards when it came to that time. But now that time will not come.
Well, it will come, but just not as Marvel.
Right. I mean, it will come. Yeah, it will come. But I was wanting to play with the Spider-Man cards. I was wanting the arts of the Spider-Man cards in digital form to play on Arena, but can't do it now.
Nope.
Right. Well, a lot, if you believe the fan theory, which now I'm not sure if you guys remember, for the last 20, almost 30 years, there's been this fan theory that Sony is going to lose Spider-Man. People have been spouting this nonsense for 30 years almost, since Sony had our favorite Spider-Man that we introduced ourselves with earlier today. When that Spider-Man came out, people hated it because, Spider-Man's supposed to use web shooters. It's not supposed to come out of his body. They changed the lore. They changed this and that, which, me, I'm a stickler for lore.
Right.
And even at first, I had a problem with it. But for 30 years, we as a fanboy society have had this urban legend that Sony is going to lose Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
When the fact of the matter is, they're probably not, because they keep on making content, and that is part of their contract.
Right. Kevin G says, sadly, none of the Spider-Man cards won't be in card form. I hate that Wizards didn't make play boosters have Universe Within cards and the Universe Beyond cards and collector boosters, right? I get that. Or, made a set and have them be Secret Lair or whatnot, like they did, or do what like they did with Brothers War, where they had Transformers cards and special cards in the pack. I get that. Yep. I prefer that method. I think the Universes Beyond the standard sets are kind of weird. We got from the controller of time and space in the multiverse, right? Opening up the availability to travel from one time dimension to another. We have Time Capsule. Time Capsule.
But on the Spider-Man cards, all right, let's say you're a new player, but you'll get these Spider-Man cards. Then you download Arena, and you to play the Spider-Man cards.
Right.
They'll have these Omen Path cards, which would be kind of rescans of the Spider-Man cards.
Right.
But they're in-universe cards. That new player is not going to know the difference between that Spider-Man card and that in-universe card. Yeah, they'll see the cards, but it's going to be harder for them to comprehend this card as the same as this card.
Right. Well, that's you're right.
Because of them being new to Magic.
You're absolutely right.
I don't think that's fair for the new players.
No, probably not. Probably not. But that right there is like, okay, big complaints in the year that I've been hanging around you guys in the Magic community, right? I've been with you guys for here on the morning show for roughly about 9 months, and hanging out with you guys in the Magic community for a year now. And I'm going to be honest with you. The Universes Beyond, the Spider-Man stuff, they're not being made to, while they want to attract a new clientele to Wizards of the Coast, and the whole concept though is really more of we're gonna make some quick money now, and having these secret layers, these Universes Beyond, these collaborative efforts between other IPs is, while we've discussed it in the past as being an excuse to attract a new clientele, it's really more of an excuse to let's make that Disney money now. Like before this show, Hillbilly and I were talking about, wouldn't it be more effective to just hand somebody your wallet and say, put that $50 in my pocket now, instead of waiting 3 to 4 months for $100? you're gonna get if I can get that Disney money now and make a limited run collectible, tell you that, oh, we're doing it just to attract the young crowd, and then we're going to not do this, not do that, not do this, and make access to that art or that game or that that token or that single card very rare, and that's going to shoot up that price value of what I want to make right now.
Right.
It's unfortunately a devious tactic in both Hasbro's side and Disney's side, but it's also very genius to get you to open up your wallet and bleed you dry.
Mm-hmm. What is it? Kevin G says, yes, they have made a huge push to making a lot of money now. I've talked to a lot of the One Piece community and a decent portion of the ex-MTG players that left because of their Universe Beyond going to Standard.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, One Piece is like getting a huge banging right now. Like I'm excited for what One Piece is putting out with their TCG set. You know, their first couple of sets were just manga art, just put on a thing, and then they did a set that had just some of the art from the cartoons, and now they're getting their newer stuff that One Piece is coming out with is going to have original art based off of One Piece. It's going to, and One Piece, I don't see One Piece as going off and doing collaborative efforts, changing their lore or doing, okay, well, this is a One Piece TCG, but we're going to instead throw in Inuyasha into our One Piece TCG. They're not going to do it. Like, oh, we're going to throw He-Man into the Secret Lair or into Universes Beyond, and we're going to make instant money.
Mm-hmm. All right. I want to say hello to Mana Monk opening portals so you don't have to.
By the way, I don't know anything. I'm an idiot. Don't take what I'm saying by heart. I'm just I just glaze at the same time. I glaze and shun the corporate executives at Hasbro. So don't take what I have to say at heart.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, KBG says One Piece fixes a lot of issues MTG had. It's a great card game, which is good, but a lot of other card games people said the exact same thing about. And guess what? They failed. They're not as good. They died. They couldn't keep up. It's just true. I mean,
Wizards of the Coast
around, but you'll have to see. One Piece is still kind of new.
Yep. Yeah, One Piece is still kind of new. It's still even for the American anime market, it's new. I mean, being the fact that that for a anime that's been translated into English and been broadcasting on Crunchyroll and other and networks as well on cable, it's still relatively new to the States, especially for those people. A lot of people, the nerd culture is growing in anime still to this day. It's still a very small community. Even if you went to Anime Expo in San Diego and saw that San Diego Convention Center is, or isn't, wherever Anime Expo is nowadays. Last I went, it was in San Diego. That convention center gets packed to the brim, but anime is still a growing thing in the United States. I mean, while it's like 100 times bigger, the culture, than it was in the 80s when we were watching Astro Boy.
Right.
You know, the culture's grown greatly, but it's still a small culture in the stateside.
Right. Survivor. Hey, welcome.
What's up, Survivor?
Survivor.
And another thing, back to the Spider-Man cards. All right, let's say you only play Arena.
Mm-hmm.
You get these in-universe set, and then you go try to look for them, but all you see is Spider-Man.
I don't know.
And
it's too heavy of emotions right now about it.
But then you're going to have a hard time finding the cards because instead of looking for the in-universe cards, you're going to have to look for the Spider-Man cards.
Right. Well,
from my understanding, they're not going to be making these in-universe cards in paper form. They're only going to be in digital form.
Good. That's good. Kovacs Corner, got to give it up to One Piece TCG for what they have done for their game and community. Yeah. we still got time to tell how well it's going to do. I'm not going to say it's going to be bad. I don't know. Like there's still room for people to grow, but there's a lot of competition with Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic.
Well, and remember with trading cards, comic books, and other of the form of paper to cardboard collectibles, right? A lot of these collectibles that are run by these print companies, especially with comic book and trading cards, they're for the most part, with the exception of Wizards of the Coast, which is owned by a toy company, these trading card companies are owned by print companies, and print companies, right? They don't have as large of a promotional budget as Hasbro does. They don't have as large of a promotional budget as Wizards of the Coast did, even in the 70s when they were putting out Dungeons and Dragons. Wizards of the Coast has always had a huge promotional budget. Where TCGs like Yu-Gi-Oh and any of these other TCGs based off of animes that are coming to the United States, like One Piece and whatnot, those TCGs tend to not have as large of a promotional campaign because they can't afford to put out that kind of money. They're print companies. They're not toy companies like Hasbro.
Right.
So their promotional budget is much smaller, and a smaller promotional budget means you're more likely to fail.
Right, but look at Wizards of the Coast. They're really big. One of the biggest card games in the world. One of them, out of the top three. Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic. Right. Without a TV series, they had a few games. MTG Online and Arena are newer comparatively. MTG Online has been around for a long time, but like without the success of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic's done really well, And I think like One Piece, what people are talking about, it's new. We don't know if it's a flash in the pan or a long-term game yet. I mean, look at Naruto and other card games that came out with.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's a flash in the pan. It's gonna be hard to compete with companies like with companies like Nintendo and Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast. If you want to just ignore the fact that I keep on saying Hasbro. I know a lot of you don't like it when I say Hasbro, but when you have big companies like that, and you know that they can afford to promote something huge, where also Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, they have over 30 plus years, 30 plus years of being an existing TCG, where unfortunately, like other games like Yu-Gi-Oh, if you want to be one of those guys, well, Yu-Gi-Oh has been around just as long, but really has it? They completely changed the game about almost a decade ago when they completely changed the rules. I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh because of the complete game mechanic change. So in that case scenario, is Yu-Gi-Oh the same game? Has it been around that long? No, it hasn't, because it's a brand new version of the game in comparison to what it was 18 years ago when the Yu-Gi-Oh cards were like really popular amongst the kids. I'm going to be honest with you. Yu-Gi-Oh is, even though they have a cartoon to back it up, Yu-Gi-Oh does not have the promotional budget that even Magic has. And there's no way you can compete with the promotional budget that Magic is getting from both Wizards of the Coast and their parent company, which gives them a huge promotional head start. Forget about the 30 plus year time frame that Magic has already been established, and forget about the 40 plus year, maybe 50 plus year that Wizards of the Coast and their print company have been doing Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, they've been around for a long time, and they know how to promote their work.
Shannon Simpson, hi Mom.
Well, one thing I had to say about One Piece, they're doing something right because they are growing.
Well, they will grow, and we got time to tell. I mean, it's not a game I'm going to interact with, but I don't doubt that it has potential. I mean, it has a history to follow up. It has a lot of manga, a lot of show introduced to the game, a lot of things to do. So you know,
Right, and then there's also the problem. I'm not when I went to college for a minute before I dropped out of college, I was taking business classes, and I remember one of the teachers there had put across this analogy. You have a bucket, and this is all the product that you're going to be able to market, and that you can put all the product you can market into this bucket. Eventually, you will not have room for other product in that bucket.
Mm-hmm. Going back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Had Konami backing it, or has Konami backing it up. All right, Kevin G says One Piece has Bangai to back it, I believe, probably. And Metamux says these newer TCGs are going to run out of content to draw from, which will lead to their demise. Magic has been around for 30 plus years, drawing on the fantasy realms.
I agree and disagree at the same time. I agree that on the second half of that. The first half of that, I disagree only because when you're new, you have a full universe of buckets, multiple universes, not to use that term lightly, but of buckets that you can use to fill your content with. I think when you're new, you have more options for content, where like right now, you hear a lot of people in the Magic the Gathering community, and we've discussed it here on this show, that some people think that Magic is running out of ideas.
That could be.
I mean, but you tend to run out of content and fresh ideas when you keep the same. A lot of people also like, well, if they change the staff again, I'm not going to collect anymore because every time they change the staff, they ruin my game. Well, I mean, without a change of staff, you're not going to get new ideas, and you're going to get the same ideas pushed out every single time. Take like the film industry; they keep on pushing out the same exact 3 movie topics over and over again, and don't leave the cookie cutter. Only way to get new ideas is to explore new ideas, and I think the new TCGs will find ideas that Magic will not touch.
Well,
will they be successful? That's a different story.
Well, Magic's in a different realm. Like a lot of people think that with the universes beyond set, they're losing ideas, but there's ways to recreate things, and we got 2 new sets that came out or coming out this year. We had Tarkir Dragonstorm, which is a banger set. It's half innovative because they kind of redid old mechanics, and they have the space set coming out. I can't think of the name of it right now. Edge of Eternities.
Yeah, Edge of Eternities.
Edge of Eternities coming out. Kevin G. Magic has clearly run out of ideas. Look at the past few years of Magic. Horrible plane building. Well, if you listen to what they say on the interviews and stuff, what they've talked about on Magic, the Wizards Coast show and stuff, it's not that they're running out of ideas all the time. It's the fact that they're working on Magic, multiple sets, and other games at the same time, other non-Magic IP games.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a lot on their plate, and with the struggles with keeping people in the company. I know it's been homebrewed before, but I feel that MTG should do a D&D game with Wiley incorporating the cards, right? Like, look, I won't lie to you. I get jaded very easily. What I want out of Final Fantasy, I probably won't get. And that's combat cards, like enchantments that give you multiple options when attacking, or multiple options for combat, right? Like in the game, when you go to combat, it's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with? Do you want to use this weapon or this magic spell? Options on a card. And Wizards of the Coast probably won't do that. Like, to be honest, they probably won't do that. And if they do, I'll be happily excited. And if they don't, I'll be jaded. And I've always been like that. Because like in Mortal Kombat, I believe Goro should have been the main boss character a long time ago, taking over Shao Kahn and Shang Tsung and stuff like that.
Goro Stan.
Yeah. KJ says, I agree with you. However, these new TCGs will eventually catch the source material and then go go the direction like Games of Thrones.
That is an issue.
The author, yeah,
I do think that's an issue. Game of Thrones, the guy who wrote Game of Thrones, he had a obvious direction where he wants to go with his product. So much, in fact, that just like George Lucas at the beginning, before Disney took over, he had his hands directly in all the side fiction. So where people were writing Game of Thrones mini novelettes. Sorry, they were writing Game of Thrones novelettes and whatnot. He had his hands in there, making sure that the lore stayed accurate. But once they started going into the television series and the spin-off series and I believe there's another spin-off series for Game of Thrones coming out. There is something called making your world too big. And when you make your world and your world history and your world lore too big, you're going to have problems. Right now, a certain Lucas IP that Disney owns is suffering this problem. Right. And may or may not, we will give Andor a try. And first episode has been released on the 22nd. And first 2 episodes, I believe, were shown at Star Wars Japan. And we're going to be showing. They're going to show like some new Star Wars stuff that's due to be coming out on Star Wars Day, May 4th, here in the United States, for the Star Wars festival that we're having here. But universes like Star Wars and these universes and these IPs that have gotten too big for their britches are hard to fill. And when you make your universe bigger, and then you have to create more characters, more story arcs, and all this stuff, you are going to make it hard to keep track. Mm-hmm. Like Marvel Comics, it wasn't until like the 1970s that they started merging all their characters together. And now in the modern day of comic book worlds, and comic book fandom, we're sitting here going, oh, they're ruining the comic books, they're ruining the movies, they're ruining these things. But in fact, Spider-Man is still having fresh issues and fresh storylines released to this date, because your bigger IPs are keeping IP Bibles. Mm-hmm. And you know that Magic the Gathering is keeping an IP Bible. Mm-hmm. So that way they don't get too far off a course, and they go, okay, these are secret layers. These don't count as part of our lore. These are universes beyond. Technically, these don't count as part of our lore. This right here is a Spider-Man set in the Marvel set. Technically doesn't count as part of our lore. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people who are lore fanboys like myself will complain to our heart's content, because we're seeing IPs that affect our game, and we're going to use the excuse, and I use it all the time. You've heard me get mad about it with a few other things. You are touching my lore. Unfortunately, Spider-Man doesn't touch their lore, and it really hurts the argument when we bring up, us lore fanboys bring up the fact that Spider-Man is going to hurt the lore of the game. But the fact of the matter is, if it were Magic the Gathering, Spider-Man, and then you brought DC Comics into it, then it would hurt the lore. In my opinion, you know, too many things in your universe can makes it like, you make Kool-Aid, right? And instead of having 1 packet of Kool-Aid and an equal amount of water that you're supposed to put in there, and you put 5 times as much water in it, it's going to be diluted.
Mm-hmm. To answer KBG's question here, something like Pokemon where they have different attacks that do different amount of damage. No, so you have something like an enchantment, and you can make a different card type for it. Like let's say they made a menu, right? And it had a mana cost, and you play it on the battlefield, and the sands are like a permanent. And it says when you attack, choose one of the 3 options. Deal 2 damage to a creature. Target creature you control gets +2/+2, or make a 2/2 token, and that's when you attack. So it gives you different options when you attack in the battle, and you can have multiple menus on the battlefield. Like, you know, they might be legendary, so you can only have 1 menu of 1 type on the battlefield. So you can have like different menus giving you different options, leveling up your combat.
Sort of like a mobile, yeah, something like a mobile card.
Like a modal combat design card for sure.
Yeah.
card design for One Piece is unlimited. You can design hundreds of different takes on a card design with certain parts of the story. Yeah, Rhinoblitz 3.
Yeah, that's a good point. You have more of an option with the game mechanics that stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh's putting out than you do with not Yu-Gi-Oh, sorry, One Piece than you do with like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like where Yu-Gi-Oh, like the game, if you don't know how to do any math, you're gonna suck at the game.
Right. Yeah. Polite calculators, it's part of the game. Anyways, one thing I wanted to touch upon a while ago before we went on this rampage was Spider-Man being separate from Arena and then having different cards. In a way, I think this is going to be interesting because on Arena, you're going to be aware of the set, right? You're going to be aware of this external Spider-Man-like set. So when the set comes out, if they do early access, you're going to have access to all these cards. You're going to learn these cards. But what I think is interesting about the paper aspect for it coming to paper is the collectability is going to be different, right? Well, it's not going to be super different, but it's going to be paper only. So the only way to interact is physical product. And I think that is a positive in this weird situation. Now, I'm not saying it's all positive, but I think for the set, like if you want to interact with Spider-Man, I think it's going to be interesting, especially for limited, draft, constructed, and commander. You're going to have all these different cards to choose from in paper. And so the only way to interact with Spider-Man is buying the play boosters and everything else. And which is, I don't know what the company's thinking. Like, I don't know the contracts behind it. Like I said, they don't explain why they can't be on Arena. But if you want to get into Spider-Man, they're not neglecting your paper collectibles.
Right.
No, yeah. I like I said, I do believe it is all about contracts. Probably it's the same style of contracts that they have for film and other media. Where they can't use certain characters, or they have to get everybody who owns the rights in multiple different companies because Marvel made a big mistake in the 70s that saved their company.
Right.
Otherwise, if it wasn't for their decision in the 1970s to separate their ties between the televised, the print, and toys and movies with all these characters, that they've made contracts that are like pretty solid contracts. If you don't keep making the product, you lose the characters, you lose the IP, and it saved Marvel. If it wasn't for that decision, we would not have what we have today in the superhero industry, whether it be Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. Did you know that the televised rights for Batman is owned by Fox, which is owned by Disney, and Warner Brothers owns DC Comics? Because the Adam West Batman series was a Fox show, and that was DC making the same decision that Marvel made in the 70s to lease out their IPs. It saved them, though. If not, we would not have the comic book industry or the even trading card industry the way we know it today.
Lone Wolf says what they are doing with Omen Pass, that's going to be the Spider-Man thing on Arena, where it's different. Almost reminds me of Alchemy a little bit. Only thing is that the Omen Pass should be standard legal, right?
They are.
I believe Omen Pass are going to be standard legal, and that's why it has a different name than Alchemy. And I don't think it's going to be broken like Alchemy. You're not going to put the whole Power 9 in your deck or whatnot.
Now Omen Pass is going to be standard legal. It's going to be the Omen Pass or Spider-Man cards in a way. I mean, they're not Spider-Man cards. They're not going to have the Spider-Man art or anything like that. They're going to have some of the same abilities. It pretty much is just a rescan of a Spider-Man card. That's pretty much only thing an Omen Path is.
Right. But look, it's not gonna be the end of the world. It's gonna be different. Like, I know there's a lot of emotions riding on this because like Hillbilly wants to play Spider-Man on Arena.
Yep.
I get it. Like Marina is the main way he interacts with Magic in general. Taken away from him is taking away an experience, and I don't think Wizard of the Coast is thinking about that. But I don't think this is just Wizard of the Coast. I think Marvel Studios or whoever has a part of this.
Marvel Studios probably has the biggest part of it.
Right.
Marvel themselves has probably the biggest part of it, next to Disney's very straightforward promotional product contracts that they have. I mean, it took Hasbro forever to get toy contracts with Disney, because Mattel was for like the longest period of time. Mattel was the main company doing toys and collectibles for Disney itself.
Right.
And so, like, I think like it's more to do with the parent company and the way they do things, because Disney, who currently owns the contracts to these IPs, particularly Spider-Man. They are very, very strong-fisted with the way they keep that fist closed on their IPs, and they're very much exclusive when it comes out to who they're letting make their product.
Right.
Really, it's a good idea, even though the Disney Corporation, who owns Lucasfilm, Marvel Comics, they own a big old huge chunk of Mattel, and they own just about part of everything they have their hands in.
All right. Well, really quick, have a good night, Madam Monk. KG says, until you get it, I'm different since I won't be around for it. Wish Hillbilly could play with them the way he wants, though. Yep. And
Yep.
Brandon, happy dang Black Day. And sorry, Brandon. I got to cut the show short today. Got some responsibilities coming on. So we're going to get to the next section of the day.
Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take. Show is lit. MTG 3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise. Building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon. No one can bring us down. MTG 3 in the house. We own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
All right, everybody, we're in the shill section, and I got to speed this along a little bit. So we're going to start with KJ to shill his channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do this in the fashion of the Micro Machines man. So on Wednesdays, I usually do Procrastinating Across the Ocean with Jesse Hellwheeler. We're going to do that tonight. I will not be using my cartoon character as I'm still having OBS problems. OBS. Yes, and don't forget, every Monday, Jesse Hellwheeler and myself are going to be doing procrastinating in our Procrasticraft Minecraft server. And today's 27-hour subathon has been postponed for 2 weeks because I'm having OBS problems. I'm dealing with all that OBS.
OBS. All right. But anyways, check his channel out. It's in the chat and in the description below. All right. And we're going to roll over to Hillbilly. Hillbilly.
Hey, everybody. I'm going to be doing, just for today, I'm just going to be doing a 2 o'clock stream, trying to climb the ladder, and it's all I got planned for today.
All right. Whoop, whoop. All right. Super Fast Tortoise here. Say, I'm going to go live later because I'm deconstructing a deck, and you'll see some cards I'm going to put into another deck. And you're going to see the deck. It's going to be tremendous. I'm kind of sad about it, but I want to build my Dragons deck to be stronger.
Ooh.
All right. But anyways, responsibilities call me. I got a lot to do really quick. So I want to say thank you. You all rock. You're all awesome. I'll remind you that you're loved. Someone's thinking about you. And if you can, brighten someone's day, because you could be the change they need today. And let's get to the outro. Thank you, members, for supporting the channel. Thank you, subscribers, for being amazing and supporting the channel too.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and friends have been the senses. Let's get a bit senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show.